my name is Colin Fowler and welcome to the Epilepsy channel. Today we're going to be talking about different types of seizures and different types of seizure triggers. So on the topic of different types of seizures, there are two main categories. There are partial seizures and then there are what are called generalized onset seizures. The generalized onset seizures are the more commonly known and definitely more visible seizures. They the grand mal seizures, so the fall down, shake, those are in the generalized onset. Another type of seizure that is in the generalized onset, that is absence seizures. That's what I have. So when I have an episode, I get spacey. I say a lot. I blink a lot, and I'm just gone. Like I'm physically here, but nothing's happening up here. The way I kind of describe it to my friends is, so right here is where my epilepsy is, and your brain all needs to talk to itself in order to function the way it should. And when this part doesn't know what to do when it freaks out and has a seizure, none of this works. And so I'm just standing here and different parts of my brain are trying to tell my body what to do, and it's not working at its best. And so my talking portion up here will, for a brief moment, it'll work. And so I'll talk a little bit, but then it'll go away and I won't be able to talk. I will sound confused. So an example is when I was really young, I was having an absence seizure. My mom recorded me, and she said, "So what are you going to tell your teacher?" A little bit of backstory. I was going to ask out her daughter. And I said, okay. I said, I'm going to, yeah. So that was an example of what my seizures kind of look like. I don't know if it's a good acting job, but I'm sure I'll figure out once my mom watches this video, because she watches every one. Thank you, Mom. Anyway, so that is the gist of a absence seizure. And my explanation of how it works, how a seizure works, I think for the most part can be carried across different types of seizures, because if you just boil it down, all it is your brain is not working at full capacity. So your talking portion can't reach your lips. Another type, moving right along, perfect transition, are tonic seizures or atonic seizures. That is a stiffness. So a stiffness you'll get, it's also called like a drop seizure. So you don't drop and shake, you just kind of like get stiff. And then there is the seizure that everybody knows about, and when somebody who doesn't really know a lot about epilepsy, when they hear the word epileptic, they will picture a grand mal seizure. Grand mal seizure, as probably a lot of people know, is the fall down and shake and lasts for I don't know how long. It shouldn't, like in the TV shows they'll last like 2-3 minutes, when in actuality it's the actual seizure itself isn't that long. It's the portion where you're unconscious that's longer. Um, but they're all seizures aren't visible to everybody. There are some seizures that you can just go along on your day and still talk and still be kind of like normal. And those are like focal or partial seizures. And after some research, some brief research, I found out that like, so they will see kind of like an aura, and so the seizure starts in one area and spreads, and they'll see an aura, and they'll have they can tell that something's not right. And I definitely do want to do some more research on that, and definitely in the comments let me know if you want me to do more research or even a whole video on that. But ways to avoid having a seizure, aka avoiding seizure triggers. Triggers are interesting. Seizure triggers are things you necessarily wouldn't even think about. Everybody knows about strobe lights, but something that not everybody knows about is that only 1 in 10 epileptics are photosensitive. So only 1 in 10 epileptics are sensitive to flashing lights and have a higher chance of having a seizure after exposed to a strobe light. I am photosensitive. Another seizure trigger is sleep deprivation. So a lot, if not every epileptic needs, well, not just epileptic, everybody needs 8 hours of sleep, especially epileptics. Because, like I said earlier, if our brain can't work at full capacity, then it's going to freak out. It's going to have a seizure, and we are going to be spending $10,000. And so getting sick is another one. This doesn't necessarily mean your head, but body trauma. So, like, the stomach flu is my personal worst case scenario. It's my perfect storm for having a seizure the next day. So, you like, all your body just, it's not working correctly, and your brain's like, okay, I can't do this. Stress is another one. So if you're in a high stress job and you're an epileptic, one, I hope that you have your tactics of getting around, whether that's an incense thing or an essential oil diffuser, or just meditating for 5 minutes a day. Any of that can help. Just lower your stress. But some are not as prevalent as others. They aren't as heard of, and probably aren't epileptics. Like, I'm sure some of these are some of epileptics' number one seizure triggers, because it works in like a stage. So my top trigger is sleep deprivation, and then strobe lights, and then just on from there. But they're like a specific time of day can trigger a seizure. Not eating right, hormonal changes, and certain medications can all trigger a seizure. And if you are photosensitive like I am, I have found ways to kind of work around strobe lights. So I still go to concerts. I love concerts. I went to a For King Country concert last week. It was amazing. Yes, there were strobe lights there. So hopefully this will be able to help somebody out there. But so if there's a strobe light going on, if you can, focus on something that is constant. So whether that's the performer just walking across the stage, focus on the performer. That way your brain has something there that isn't constantly changing. So focus on just, it doesn't even have to be, just focus on something that is constant and not moving. Closing your eyes, it helps a little bit, but not much, because lights, they get through. So find something that doesn't change, and I hope that helps at least one person out there. And as always, if there is something you want me to talk about or something that you want me to go deeper in, please leave it down in the comments below. Like the video. Please subscribe. Share this video with your friends and anybody who might be interested. And have a good one. See ya.